Hello, loyal listeners, and welcome back to Buckle Up with Bershan, the Warrior Edition, where we are highlighting amazing warriors, men and women all across the country. We are highlighting warriors in their life, in their career, in their relationship, and who they are. A lot of times, women and men are doing so many amazing things, but we don't know them, and we don't know the story behind the story. We don't know how they got there. We don't know what they go through, because believe me, it is not easy to make it and be where they are today. It takes perseverance, it takes determination, it takes confidence, and it takes grit, right? And so that's what being a warrior is about. It doesn't mean you don't fail. It doesn't mean you do not make mistakes. I've made a ton of mistakes, and that's why I'm launching this app, You Are a Warrior, because I've made mistakes. I've failed. I've done a lot of wrong things that I had to make up and learn and grow. And that's what this is about. It's not judging. It's about a safe haven, a place where you can be inspired, motivated, and support. And that's why I bring to you today an amazing woman. She's a judge. She's a lawyer. She's a celebrity host. She's a philanthropist. She does everything. She gives back. She supports. She helps. Judge Rhonda Wills. Welcome.
Hi, Bershan. It's so wonderful to be with you. And I just want to commend you on your podcast, because you are a warrior, and I love you are such a motivation for everyone that hears you, everyone that knows you, and it's just so wonderful to be on your podcast and to be able to share my story with all of the others that follow your podcast.
Thank you for willing and wanting to share your story. I mean, as you know, I'm a stage 4 breast cancer survivor. I was given 3 months to live. I mean, I'm 12 years cancer-free, 12. So
that is awesome.
And I want the audience to know Judge Rhonda Wills. Like, take us there. Take us how you got here. I mean, you're a judge. First of all, you know, there's such a small percentage of judges. It is such a hard pathway to go, because I know in the justice system, it is a man's world. We know it's a man's world. So how did you get there? As a kid, did you always want to be a lawyer? And did you dream of becoming a judge?
Well, you know, as a little girl, I always wanted to be a lawyer. I'm one of those people that when I see injustice, I want to fix it. I want to help people. I want to right wrongs. And so even as a little girl, I felt like the only way that I would be able to contribute and do that would be to become a lawyer. And throughout my law practice over 20 years, I've represented, you know, everyday Americans, everyday people, especially other women. I've focused a lot of my practice on representing other women. And I represent people that have oftentimes been harmed in corporate America and by giant corporations. And so I'm always David going up against Goliath, and my slingshot usually wins. I do pretty well with my slingshot. And yeah, I mean, I have, you know, I'm licensed in California, Texas, and New York. And I have cases all over the country. And I have, just by representing everyday Americans, and especially focusing my practice on women, I've recovered more than $100 million for my clients throughout my career. So I've been very fortunate that even as a little girl, I wanted to help people, and I've been able to help people, and I've been very successful at it. So yeah, it was quite a journey, and it's been amazing. And now my new venture, being Judge Rhonda on relative justice, has been amazing as well.
Oh, I love this. Everything you're saying, I love that. And I really am about helping and supporting as a coach. I'm a life coach, I'm a strategist, helping people who have been through the ringer and been wronged. I mean, that is my passion. And that, I mean, I have on the shirt, You Are a Warrior. That's why I'm starting this mental health app. As you know, brown and Black people have not been getting justice. I mean, there's a lot of inequalities. There's a lot of injustices that's going on. And I'm just tired of it. You know, it's just the American people. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on that we don't even know. And so I thank you for your service in that, because that, kudos to that. That is amazing to take them on. And sometimes you take on big people, small people. Can you tell us some of your, I don't know if you can, like, I mean, but maybe it's public after you won, like, what has been your trying time, like your hardest case that you didn't think you were going to win, but you did?
Well, I'll tell you what really sort of set me on the path that I'm on, especially representing other women in particular. I started out my law practice. I went to a really big firm, and I was at a big firm, and I was sexually harassed. And I sued the law firm that I was at for sexual harassment. And it was a really tough case at the time. It was just unheard of for a woman to file a sexual harassment suit, especially against a really big law firm with over 1,000 lawyers at the firm. But I took them on and I won my case. We successfully settled my case. And as a result of that, I decided that I really wanted to focus my work on representing other women, and especially other women who had been victims of sexual harassment, other misconduct in the workplace, wage discrimination, not being paid appropriate wages, and things like that. And so, as I have just spent my career being a warrior, especially being a warrior for other women, and a lot of that stemmed from my own experience. So when, for example, a woman comes to me to represent them in a sexual harassment case, and I tell them, I understand what you're going through. It's because I've gone through it. I've been through it. I went through the fire. I survived the fire. And so I explain to women, you're going to get through this. I'm going to help you get through this. And at the end of the day, I can't change what someone did to you, but I can get financial justice for you. So I have really focused my practice on being that type of warrior, and especially for other women. I have also focused my practice on being a warrior for other people of color as well. I brought a number of race discrimination cases and been successful in those as well. Some as individual cases, some as class actions. I've also represented people who've been discriminated against, who are in the LGBTQ community. So I really try to focus my practice on giving people a voice who might not otherwise have a voice if I didn't step in and represent them and help them. And so, like you, I try to also be a warrior and a woman of color, in representing others that might not have a voice.
Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful because we need your voice. We need you to stop. I need to talk to you about a case on the side. I'm like, no, it's like, because I like that, because a lot of people don't champion and people do give up because you're fighting the big firm. Like, God, kudos to you for being strong enough to fight a big firm, doing it, because did you get a lot of backlash from that in your law practice or being a lawyer? Did you get a lot of backlash from counterparts, from colleagues, from anything? Like, how did that affect you?
I did. I got a lot of backlash, and it was really hard. It was painful. It was traumatic for me. It was very traumatic. But at the end of the day, I thought to myself, how can I tell other women that they should stand up for their rights? How can I be a champion of civil rights? How can I tell other people that the law means something if I'm not willing to advocate for myself and stand up for myself when something like that is done to me? So I decided, the kind of courage that I want my clients to have, I have to exhibit that courage myself. And that's what I did. So, there were some people who had negative things to say. People can especially be cruel on social media, and people, said some nasty things about me. But at the end of the day, I knew I was right. And so I just pushed forward and continued to be a warrior for myself and an advocate for myself. And then I bring that same energy when I'm representing other women. I've walked through the fire and I know how to help them get through the fire as well.
I love that. And, let's talk about that, because you said something, and that's social media is very mean, right? They're trolls, they're bullies, they talk about you, they're negative to you. They want you to, I read someone's comment, they were like, I hope you die. Gosh, that's horrible. I can't
That's
even.
pretty bad. Yeah.
People are really mean, and that's why I really started this mental health app that's launching in November, because I wanted a safe space. I want people to get the help. I want them to express themselves. I have a best friend who's gay and can't even come out. He has a family and he still hasn't told his family. I support LGBTQ so much because I'm passionate about how they feel, because I really have a best friend who can't come out. I mean, it's sad. I know Black women who are too afraid to go to their bosses or anyone because they are living in fear. We have to stop that. And you are a champion. That's what I like. Yes, you are a warrior. You are showing them the way. You're telling them, teaching them, inspiring them, and motivating them. And I thank you for that because we need that. That's what this app is about. It's about support, inspiration, and motivation. So kudos, Rhonda. Kudos. Now, let's talk about after you got out and you sued the firm. Did you start your law firm immediately after?
I sure did. Immediately after.
Oh, yes.
I started my own law firm because I knew that I wanted to be able to represent everyday Americans, and I wanted to take on those cases that I felt passionate about and people that I felt passionate about. So I started my own practice so that I could do that. I could take on those cases and I could represent those people that I felt passionate about, that I wanted to represent. And I haven't looked back. I tell everyone, if you follow your passion, the money's going to come.
Yes.
You just have to find something that you're passionate about, that you're motivated about, and you put your heart and your soul into that, and the money will come. When I left the firm that I was at, where I was sexually harassed, I left a huge salary. And I have to tell you that after starting my law firm, I have made way more money every year since I left that law firm. I look back on that and I'm like, I can't believe that I thought I was doing well there because I followed my passion, and I didn't do it for the money. But when you follow your passion and you are really, really doing things for the right reasons, the money is just going to come. And I tell people that all the time. And I'd love to see, especially when I look, even during this pandemic, of other women and women of color in particular, who were sitting at home going, okay, well, the pandemic is hit. I don't really have my job anymore. I don't have a paycheck coming in, but they found something that they were passionate about and they started their own business. So I love to hear stories like that. I always try to encourage other women and other women of color in particular to follow their passion because the money's going to follow.
Oh, I love that. And that is what I say. You know, I've spoken all around the world, India, Australia, Paris, London, Switzerland, and I can do this without getting paid because it's my passion, motivating, inspiring, and helping women. And you know what? The money comes. It really does come. I have now made way more than when I started just a year ago, 2 years ago. And I thought, wow, everyone said motivational speaking is a man's world. Everyone said you can't do it. Everyone said this. You do not listen to what they say. You do it your own way. That's what I tell people. Stop listening to what they say, the naysayers, the haters, the people who want you to fail. Misery is always at the bottom. Get to the top. That's a difference. Like we can swim at the bottom and have the chitter and the chat and talking about people and all that. No, swim at the top. And that's what it's about, swimming at the top. I love that. Oh my God. So let's talk about relative justice.
Yes, let's talk about the show. I would love to talk about the show. So you said something earlier that really made me think about relative justice. So I love your commitment to mental health. This app that you've started is absolutely amazing, and I want to applaud you for that. That's wonderful, because one of the things that we do on relative justice, I actually insisted that we have a therapist on staff for the court, because relative justice is unlike any other court TV show in that all of our cases, all of our litigants involve families. So typically when you're suing your mother or you're suing your sister, there's something going on here more than just money. So I, as the judge on relative justice, as Judge Rhonda, I resolve the financial dispute that's going on between family members, but I also try to get to the bottom of whatever the underlying dispute is that brought them to court anyway. And one thing that I found in doing this is there are so many families that need to heal through therapy. And sometimes it's an individual that needs to get therapy. Sometimes it's just the family that needs to be in family therapy in order to heal. You know, I love to use the analogy that if somebody falls and they break their arm, they're going to go straight to the emergency room. They're going to get x-rays. They're going to get a cast. They're going to do physical therapy. They're going to do whatever they need to do in order to make sure that they have a functioning arm going forward. And I don't understand why people don't understand that when you suffer trauma or you're having anxiety or depression, it's the same as a broken arm. And just as with a broken arm, you're going to go and seek medical help and therapy and treatment. You have to do the same thing when you're having any sort of trauma in your life or anxiety or depression or conflict. Sometimes you just need someone to help you who's a professional. Just like you can't fix your broken arm, oftentimes we can't fix our anxiety, our depression, whatever mental health challenges we're having. So on Relative Justice, when you tune into the show, you will see there are many times when I have our court therapist on the show as an expert to advise the litigants. And I also have the litigants meet privately with our show therapist so that she can work with them outside of the show and help them to find a good therapist or mental health professional or program in their own city once they go back home.
Oh, I love that. And let me tell you, to piggyback off what you're saying, that's why this app has coaches and it has therapists, right? So because I feel like you need both, right? I feel like, I love therapy, and we're going to have referral services to psychiatrists and therapists because therapy gets really deep into it, gets deep dive into what's really going on, the trauma that you've experienced, what you've experienced in the lash out. You know what? Like you said, you're dealing with financial issues or things. There's some deep rooted issues that haven't been uncovered. And coaches put you in action, right? You put you in action. I give my clients I hold them accountable. I give them action steps, what to do next. That's why I feel like you need both. Because the therapy helps you realize what's going on, helps you become aware, it educates you, you learn, you're informed. The coaches now push you. I push you to act, to execute. Because without action and execution, you stay stagnant. I want you to be in motion to get better and do better.
Well, on Relative Justice, one of the amazing things about our court TV show is oftentimes I have experts on the show because in order for me to rule on the law and to determine what's fair and equitable, I need to understand exactly what's going on. And oftentimes that requires me to bring in an expert. And I'm going to have you on Relative Justice. I can just tell you, I am going to have you on because so many people would benefit from your expertise, especially in motivating people, because oftentimes you're right. Sometimes we need that coach, and it would just be so helpful for people to hear from you. So please keep your calendar open because we're going to want to have you on Relative Justice.
Yes. Oh my God. I would love to. Yeah. And that's what I tell all of my clients, because I always work with a therapist, because therapists, it gets into the deep dive of what's going on and what happened, but you can stay stuck. You can go to a therapist and just be stuck. But no, I get you out of the being stuck, because once you're informed and you learn and you get it, what's next, right? What's next? So I always say, a long time ago when I first got into this business, it was a horrible story. A woman got raped by her father. A woman got raped by her father. It was traumatic, so traumatic. But I said, you got to get out of the pain and the trauma. We know it happened. Let's heal from this. Let's grow from this, because you're amazing. You are amazing. And now this beautiful woman, she started her own business. She now helps young girls. Because I got her into action. Every week I want to see you doing action. Every week I want to see you change. We're not going to be the same, because life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Comfort is when you're stuck and when you don't do anything and you stay stuck and you stay a victim and you want to, no. Now let's become great. And every Christmas, I get a huge thing of flowers because she knows I love flowers and candy canes. And she said, thank you, because I'm unstuck. So I love what you're talking about, Rhonda. Wow, Judge Rhonda.
Well, we had a similar case like that on Relative Justice. So it was a case of 3 generations of women. The granddaughter was suing her grandmother because she felt that her grandmother basically stole her stimulus check. And the grandmother said, well, I kept the stimulus check because I felt like you were my dependent during that year. And the granddaughter said, no, I kind of took care of myself and I didn't really live with you. But on this particular episode, in this case, it came out that the young woman said she had not been living with her grandmother because she had been sexually abused by someone in the grandmother's home. And as a result of this case, it came out that the mother, the grandmother, and the daughter had all been victims of sexual abuse, all of them. 3 generations of women who had all been victims of sexual abuse. And the grandmother felt that it was so shameful and so private that she became angry at her granddaughter for even talking about it in court. And I told her she has the right to no longer live with the shame of that. She gets to tell her truth. She gets to tell the world what happened to her so that she can start the path of healing. And the grandmother was so angry about it and wanted to keep this a family secret so much that I had to throw her out of my courtroom. I mean, she was furious. I had to throw her out of my courtroom. And then I told the young woman, look, I want you to meet with the therapist that's here on staff with the court so that you can start getting trauma therapy and treatment that you need in order to heal from what's happened to you. And I would have loved to be able to tell her to be able to tune into your podcast and talk to someone about like you about steps moving forward, because you're right. In addition to therapy, oftentimes you just need a coach to tell you that you can do it, to motivate you. And that's where you come in, and you're amazing at it, by the way, Bershan. You are amazing. You're incredible. You really are.
You're so sweet. So are you. Look, girl, we're a dream team. I don't know. We would totally be good together. No, because it's so true. It's like once you heal or once you learn, what's next? Everyone's like, well, what do I do now? I mean, how do I move forward? Okay, so here's some steps. Let's do it. Let's move forward. And that's where we have to get to, the place of that. I love this. Wow. So was this amazing? Like, how did this opportunity come? I love that.
You know, it was absolutely amazing, Bershan. It was just one of those things. I was on another show called Sisters-in-Law, which was a reality TV show based in Houston with me and other Black women attorneys. And it followed us and some of our cases and our legal work. And after that show, I was contacted by the producers of this show who saw me on Sisters-in-Law and wanted to find a judge to have on relative justice. And they thought that I would be right for the part. And they just called me out of the blue. And I said, that sounds amazing. It combines the 2 things I love most, family and the law. Yeah. And I get to do both. That sounds incredible. And so I told them I'm in. And here we are.
Oh, I love it. And it's a great experience because I know, I mean, you are amazing. I love that you're very thorough. You're very unique and authentic, and you care. Like, you care. That's what I love about you. You care. Like, you don't talk down or you don't talk up. You talk to. There's a difference. Some judges talk down and you know what I mean? But you meet your audience or your client where they are, which I love.
Well, I love people, and I especially love families. I have 4 children. I am one of 5 children. And my grandmother had 10 children. Oh, I have over 50 first cousins. So I'm from a huge family and a very close-knit, big family. So for me, doing this show, it was just incredibly natural. And I love people, and I love hearing about people's stories. I love being able to help people. And I love the opportunity to try to bring families together where I can. And to also help to, as not as much as you do, but to motivate people where I can to overcome their circumstances. I mean, you know, I grew up, my mother was a single mother. I was one of 5 children. I am the first person in my family to ever graduate from college, the only lawyer in my entire family. I grew up in a really small rural farming community. Going off to college was virtually unheard of. And, you know, I was able to do those things and to go to law school. And so whenever I can, I try to give back. I try to reach back. I try to pull others along with me. And when I see an opportunity to help people grow, to help people heal, to help people to mend whatever conflicts they have, especially with your family, those are the people that you love the most. the people that you don't get to choose, but the people that you're stuck with forever. So I try to do what I can to bring those people together. So what you see is authentic. I do. I deeply care about people, which is one of the reasons that I do what I do, both as a practicing lawyer and as a judge on relative justice.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. You're amazing, Judge Rhonda. You are
You're
amazing.
sweet. You're
I
kind.
mean, I'm just connecting with your spirit. I'm connecting with your energy. I love everything about you. So what's next for Judge Rhonda? Like, what's next?
Well, hopefully many more seasons of relative justice.
Okay.
There are some other projects that I'm working on, nothing that I can talk about yet, but we do have some things in the works. So there may be some new things to be announced in the coming months.
Oh, wow. I love new things. Okay, me too. That's why I love it. Good. I love these surprises because I'm going to follow you. I'm going to watch you. I'm going to support you. Thank you. Anytime you need me on the show, I'm there. I would love to be
Absolutely.
a part of my movement. You are a warrior.
I would love to be. And we have to get together for coffee whenever we're both in the same city. I know you're traveling and you're busy and I'm all over the country, but we
will
must do
get
that.
together. No, I love that because it's women empowering women, women growing, inspiring one another, doing great things. Like it's time for us to grab another woman and take her with us, help her, support her, uplift her. That's what I'm about. And
Absolutely.
you, oh wow, how do we find you, Judge Rhonda?
So Instagram at Rhonda Wills, Facebook Rhonda Wills, and TikTok Rhonda Wills.
Oh, I love it. Okay, TikTok, me too. You're in the TikTok?
Okay, so I have teenage kids who have been working with me. They're TikTok dancers. They have been working with me. So coming soon, there will be a TikTok video of Judge Rhonda dancing. So
oh my gosh, girl, everyone said my cousin's like, you got to do TikTok. You got it. I'm like, okay, Lord have mercy. All right.
Exactly.
I love this. I thank you so much. You're amazing, Rhonda. We're going to stay in touch. Please follow Judge Rhonda Wills. She's amazing. Watch Relative Justice. Follow everything she does because she is a powerhouse and she's about women supporting each other. And so am I.
Yes, and do tune in to Relative Justice Monday through Friday, and you can find out where to watch it in your city by going to relativejustice.tv.
Oh, thank you so much. You're so wonderful. Have a wonderful week, and you are truly a warrior, beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for everything you do. You're amazing.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. And this podcast is sponsored by Emerald Construction. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.